I am absolutely gutted.
Comes for Pablo Hernandez, and Pablo Hernandez scores a goal for Leeds United! Oh!
If you'd have seen my tweet, if you want to follow me, that's Leeds_lately. I said that I couldn't watch the game today because I was playing football in real life. And I watched the first half, so I saw us go 1-0 up and I saw Coops get sent off. But the second half, obviously, apparently, was mad. But I've watched all the highlights, all the reaction and everything like that, so I can get a good sense of what went on. So it won't be so much of an analysis, but more of just a gut reaction to a performance like this. So first of all, what do you think of this? Away shirt from 1992, Yorkshire Evening Post. Lovely little number. I've just ordered this. First half, they had a lot of shots, but a lot of shots that went wide, were flicked over the bar. There was that Stones one after Coops got sent off. The free kick that came from that, Stones flicked it over the bar. There was, I think, Fernandinho pulled one wide. I think that was the story of City's day, to be honest. I think they just kept missing and kept missing. Obviously, eventually, Ferran Torres scores for them, and they must think, okay, 10 men, we're 1-1 now, we'll go on and win this game. And I think that sometimes when you're a team that's that good, they gain a little bit of false confidence. So not false confidence, but overconfidence in the fact that they thought they were just going to win. Because, I mean, look at the team they've got. On the bench, they had De Bruyne, Foden, Aguero, etc. So they've got a ridiculous squad, but the heart and determination. And Stuart Dallas, we all knew he was good and we all knew he was a great utility player. But did we know that he was this good? I don't think we did. I don't think we expected him to step up in the way that he has this season. Playing left back, right back, central midfield, he's been fantastic. And to score the goal that he did, the first one was a striker's finish, brilliant strike. So Costa has it on the left-hand side, about on 40 minutes, passes it into Bamford. Bamford runs across the box a little bit, realises that he's got no opening to shoot. And he pulls it back to Dallas on the edge, and Dallas just head down, laces it, and it hits the left post, rolls across the line, and just tucks inside the right-hand post and beats Edison. And it was a perfect strike. And yeah, I was buzzing. I was thinking, oh my God. Because I think we go into these games against City, Liverpool, United, teams like that, and we go, oh, well, this is a free hit, really, because we don't expect to beat them. But that all changes when you go 1 goal up, doesn't it? In your head as a football fan, you think, right, well, we should win this now. So I was actually running the line in my first half of this football match that I was playing. I played the second half. So I was running the linesman, and the chairman of our club was giving me updates on the Leeds game. So he said, oh, City have scored. So I was thinking, oh, God, I think that was on around 70 to 76 minutes. I think it might have been the 76th minute. Anyway, yeah, then we have that Rafinha chance where he's running through on goal and Edison saves it with his feet, which is a great tackle. And then Dallas at the end, Alioski slips an outside of the foot peach right through to him, and he's holding off Stones on one arm and another defender's coming across to him, and he just puts it through Edison's legs. Like where does this come from? I remember I was actually at the dreaded playoff semi-final second leg where Dallas scored 2 goals, and that wasn't enough that day. But today it's been absolutely perfect. You just don't peg him as a goal scorer. Before this season, he scored a few, but you don't particularly peg him as a top goal scorer. And he must have like 5 or 6 goals now for a left back stroke centre mid / right back, which is very good. A very good return, to be honest. So yeah, fantastic. The coverage before the game, obviously, like I say, I was sort of watching it whilst I was warming up to play this match. So I've watched it properly now with all the audio, and I think Rio Ferdinand, as much as he's United and all that comes with that, he's been down Thorpe Arch and watched the way Leeds train, so he's got a little bit of an understanding of how they play, which he actually did make some good points about. If we want to improve, we've got to bring players in that not only are of better quality than what we've got at the moment, but players that are actually willing to have that grueling training session, do that murder ball, do that extra running that you wouldn't do at another club, to be committed to the idea of Bielsa's philosophy. So it's multifaceted the way that we have to recruit now. Obviously, we've talked about it before, especially on this channel. Orta and his list, Orta and Radrazani and Kinnear and everybody else involved, they know what they're doing, okay? So they do know this, but it was interesting from a City fan's perspective, for example, or a neutral fan's perspective, for example. Rio Ferdinand actually did bring some quite insightful stuff there, so like fair enough for that. But Joleon Lescott, he was hating on Leeds a little bit before the game. In terms of, he was saying it's in my head when I'm thinking about people slagging off Leeds, all I can think is Michael Normanton's impression. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. If you listen to the Square Ball podcast, which you should do because that's a great podcast for everything Leeds, you'll get that reference. And Lescott was just a bit negative. He was a bit, Leeds can't go further than they are at the moment. This is their ceiling. He was talking about being relegated, and Jake Humphrey was like, well, it's pretty much impossible for them to get relegated now. But Lescott was just saying that there's a ceiling to it because you can't play like that against the top teams. And I get that there is world-class players that can just bypass a Leeds press. And City do have some of them, but today they weren't actually playing a lot of them because they were resting them, because obviously for them the most important thing is the Champions League in the second leg against Dortmund. But I get what he's saying in terms of there are players who can bypass that press and bypass the man marking, but it's not necessarily always going to pan out like that. Like we saw today, they said, oh, Leeds have to adapt, We don't have to adapt, we have to play our game. Obviously we got a man sent off, so let's talk about that actually. Yes, I think it was a red card. If I'm not being biased, Leeds, I think that was a red card. Obviously, we know he wins the ball, but I think some older football fans are a little bit more old-fashioned in their views, in the fact that you used to be able to do that. You used to be able to hack someone's legs off and you'd get a yellow card. If you follow through with both feet up in the air or studs up above a player's knee in this case, you will get sent off. It's just how the game's played. We won the ball very cleanly, but his follow through was just enough to hit Jesus above the knee, and it wasn't within the laws of the game. So it is a red card. I've got no complaints about that. Lescott, he just kept saying that Leeds have to adapt. I think because he's obviously very City orientated, he was trying to sort of say that City were going to beat us by 4 or 5 goals. He definitely said that at one point, and then obviously at the end of the game he's like, oh yeah, well, Leeds were really good today. But it's like, yeah, you have to say that now. You can't just go. I don't get why some pundits can't just go, yeah, look, I was wrong there. I was actually wrong. Leeds played the way they played today. They went down to 10 men, so they did have to sit in, but that wasn't about them adapting, because in the 90 plus 1 minutes, and just before that as well, Leeds were still springing counter-attacks, flying up the pitch, not just holding out for a draw. So for him to say I just wish they would say, look, I got that wrong. I'm not that bothered about what Joleon Lescott thinks, but I just think as a general point, some pundits are a little bit negative about the way Leeds play, but why can't, as a neutral, you just sit back and enjoy that? We can go to the next level because, like Rio Ferdinand said, we can just recruit quality players who will buy into that system, and we've got the hierarchy at Leeds now with Orta, with Rads, with Kinnear, to bring in those players, because obviously they do background and they do personality sort of checks before they do that. They speak to former employers, they speak to former teammates, they get an idea of who the player is. Let's just, for an example, if you're not a Leeds fan and you're watching this, maybe you're a City fan, we were looking to sign, or there was a rumour, and he definitely was on Victor Orta's list, that we were going to sign Saeed Benrahma in the summer. And Saeed Benrahma, not long after that rumour came out, released that video on his Twitter where he's getting a haircut round a swimming pool in some foreign country that was really sunny and nice. And it was really dramatic. It was really show-offy, and it was like, oh my God, what's he doing? And I think to somebody like Bielsa, that's an instant turn-off. Like, he's like, no, I'm all right, thanks. Rafinha, he's not flash. He's got a bit of a flash haircut, and he's got some little tattoos down his neck and stuff, but he's not flashy. He's hard-working. He just grafts, and he's got that quality to go with it. So that's exactly what sort of signing that Leeds look for. So yeah, also, if you do follow me on Twitter at Leeds_lately, you'll notice that this morning or yesterday I tweeted just a bit of an apology for not writing a blog this week on leedslately.com, or for uploading a midweek video or anything like that. I've just had a week off work. I've just been chilling out, really. But next week, and from obviously this video, everything will be back to normal, and it will be full flowing. Match reactions, etc. And if I can think of some other things that maybe some transfer target videos, like what we spoke about there, like what sort of players that I could look at. I could make my own Orta's list, and that sounds strangely like Schindler's List, but we'll leave that one. Right, yeah, so that's going to be it for this one, really. I've rambled on long enough. If you want to check me out on Twitter, as I've mentioned about 4 times, that's Leeds_lately. If you want to check out the website, there's plenty of old articles on there. Well, not old, only a couple of weeks ago. There's ones about transfer targets, such as Romain Perrault. Jibril Sow could be a replacement for Calvin Phillips, so that one's on there. That's the problem with Calvin Phillips. Clickbait a bit, but that's the game. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I'll see you after the Liverpool game, when I will actually be watching that one, and I'll have chronic anxiety like I would have done if I'd have watched this. But yeah, thanks for watching.